Well, we only have 4 days, as we mentioned, to go, and we are keeping a close eye on battleground states because with the race so tight, every vote counts. In battleground North Carolina, early in-person voting ends in just about 24 hours, and already nearly half of the state's registered voters have cast their ballots. Even after Hurricane Helene ravaged western North Carolina in late September and led to fears of lower turnout, folks voted. Joining me now, the executive director of the North Carolina State Board of Elections, Brinson Bell, the state's top election official. Good to see you. So voter turnout in western North Carolina, let's start there, has been higher than those that were not hit by the hurricane. So what happened?
I think it just shows the determination of the people of western North Carolina, not only to rebuild after this devastation, but to make their voice heard. Perhaps it gives them some normalcy in all of the destruction, but they also have rebounded really well. And this may be their way of voicing their opinions on how we were led through this devastation.
So how did you make that happen? Because there were folks that lost everything and still managed to vote.
I have been known for saying before, during other disasters and through the pandemic, we don't stop elections, we figure out how to proceed. We are election professionals. We have crisis communication plans in place. We have preparations underway well in advance so that when the uncertain happens, we can pivot to that. We have had a working relationship with state emergency management as well as local and federal officials. And that all came together as it had during the pandemic, but we just responded to this situation. And I just think, the resiliency of the election officials out in western North Carolina, their determination to make sure that their neighbors and members of their community could exercise their right to vote. And then just the hard work from the people on the ground there, North Carolina National Guard, State Emergency Management, DOT, the power companies even made sure we had power to all the early voting sites on that first day of early voting. So I think everyone was committed to making sure that people could exercise their right to vote.
So are you worried at all about election misinformation and/or violence? And what is the state going to do to combat those two potential issues?
We've been trying to address that since 2019 when there was a lot of misinformation put out because of concerns around the 2016 election, the fact that we've been designated as critical infrastructure, and the fact that we had a new election called in our congressional District 9. So we've been making sure that people know how elections operate in North Carolina. And, we have seen, heightened rhetoric and harassment and hostility. But what we're really seeing right now in North Carolina is a willingness to get out and vote, which we think is trust in the system. As of 2 o'clock today, I can report that more than 51% of North Carolinians have already cast their ballots in North Carolina. And we think that that's just a testament to the confidence that they have in our election processes and that they aren't listening to the misinformation that's out there. They're going to trusted sources of information.
Brinson Bell, appreciate your time. Thanks, Karen.